A lot of question, both locally, nationally. Should the Browns bring in Jimmy Garoppolo? Should they trade for him? Should they attempt to find a way to get Jimmy Garoppolo in? Here's Shannon Sharpe, FS1's Undisputed, on whether he thinks Browns should go after Jimmy Garoppolo.
I do, because I believe Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Jacoby Brissett. I believe that when the Browns signed Jacoby Brissett, they were anticipating somewhere between a 4 and 6 game suspension for Deshaun Watson. 4 and 6 games, Skip. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, he's 2 and 4, he's 3 and 3 at worst case scenario. We still have 11 games with Deshaun to right the ship, make the playoffs, possibly win the division. Now you got 11 games. If you look at Jacoby Brissett last year, he was 2 and 3 as a starter in Miami, 14 and 23 in his career. Jimmy G, 9 and 6 last year, 33 and 14 in his career. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. I believe he would account for at least, at bare minimum, 2 more wins than Jacoby Brissett. So the question is, Skip, what is the draft compensation that I'm going to have to give up to get him? And second of all, how much does Jimmy G want?
So, Jeff, would you trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? Would you entertain bringing him in as a free agent? All accounts are he's likely to be a cut, and that $25 million salary then becomes kind of moot.
Well, the first thing that's a little difficult there is, if you remember with the Browns' courtship of Deshaun Watson, the reason they ended up paying $238 million was it didn't look like Deshaun Watson was going to choose Cleveland. If Jimmy Garoppolo gets cut, is he going to choose Cleveland? That's going to be something that they're going to have to, and it's a tough spot for Jimmy Garoppolo. If he comes here, he knows maybe, at best, he's maybe getting 11 games. If he's ready on time to even start by week 1, he's getting 11 games. But I do agree with the point Shannon Sharpe made. If it was the first 6 games, very winnable 4 games, regardless of who plays quarterback for this Cleveland Browns team. But then business picks up, so to speak. Week 5 is the Chargers. Week 6 is the Patriots. Then you got the Ravens. Then you got the Bengals, Dolphins, Bills, Buccaneers. I mean, that is a murderer's row of the schedule. Is Jimmy Garoppolo a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett? I don't believe anybody's going to dispute that in any way whatsoever. We're talking about a guy who went to the NFC Championship game, went to a guy who almost won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Jimmy Garoppolo is the better quarterback. Jacoby Brissett, for all intents and purposes, he is doing everything that's asked of him. The initial looks look really good from Jacoby Brissett. But also how I'm looking at this is when the Browns signed him, and even if you did think it was 4 to 6 games, you viewed Jacoby Brissett as a number 2 quarterback. If it's 11 games, if you've got to play your backup quarterback for 11 games in any given season, what does that usually mean your record's going to be? Probably not very good. The other option is you bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, you have Jacoby Brissett. If Jimmy Garoppolo, he's still got to learn the offense. Jacoby Brissett, is ahead of him week 1. He plays well. That's all the more better for the Browns. But the problem is, what do you do after Jacoby Brissett? Are we ready to play Josh Dobbs, who has very, very limited time in the NFL? Josh Rosen, any time he's had in the NFL, hasn't been very successful. I don't think you can look at the players in this locker room, the Joe Batonios, the Myles Garrett, the Nick Chubbs, who do everything right, work their tails off, and say, yeah, we did everything we could to upgrade the quarterback. We think we really got an elite guy. But I'm sorry, guys. I know you're getting older. 2023, we're essentially have to pass on this season because of this move we made. I don't know if you can say that to those guys. And for me, I can't say it to those guys. I got to find a way to get Jimmy Garoppolo in here. Even though if I know it's only for 11 games, Jimmy comes in, he plays really well. He writes his own ticket for 2023. But I don't feel comfortable saying that this team can make the playoffs with the first 11 games, that it's going to be Jacoby Brissett or Josh Dobbs or Josh Rosen starting those first 11 games, especially when you get past those first 4 games and you get to that next 7, which is just an absolute brutal stretch.
Yeah, and to put it in terms of Shannon Sharpe, if Jimmy Garoppolo means 2 more wins in those 11 games, that is significant. So I when you put it that way, I agree.